the story got published, and and from there my teacher was like, "Yo, you're a young novelist." And so novelist, she was the first one to label me novelist, and that stuck with me, And then from there, I evolved.
Hold up, brother, man. Don't just say that with the most humbleness, man. You just gave a shout out to a teacher. Do you remember the lady's name?
Um, uh, Jasper's Miss Jasper.
Go ahead and give your
Yeah,
testimony to Ms. Jasper, brother, man.
yeah. When I was in school, I think it was like the eighth grade, the seventh or eighth grade, I joined the Writers Crimp of America, and I wrote a story, and the story got published, and from there, my teacher was like, "Yo, you're a young novelist," and so novelist, she was the first one to label me novelist, and that stuck with me, And then from there, I evolved.
Hold up, brother, man. Don't just say that with the most humbleness, man. You just gave a shout out to a teacher. Do you remember the lady's name?
Um, uh, Miss Jasper.
Go ahead and give your
Yeah.
testimony to Ms. Jasper, brother, man.
Yeah. She sparked it. She's seen it, you know what I mean? But she probably figured that I would go into like theater or, or become a prolific writer from that standpoint. But my writings transcended into music. So I guess she was right. You know what I'm saying? If you think about it from the standpoint of all the things that I've accomplished in the music field. So shout out Miss Jasper.
And then, real quickly, what were your experiences like when you were around her? How'd you feel?
Well, I was a kid that didn't really come up in the best of situations. Like I didn't grow up in the hood though. That was one of those things. I didn't grow up in the hood. Stayed in the projects, but the projects weren't the projects of today. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yes.
these projects was like real easy going. Yo, everybody in there is just trying to get up and get out. Versus today is a little more. It's a survival. You know what I mean? Um, so whenever I was around her, it wasn't like, oh, I'm inspired. It was because my imagination was crazy. So I'm always imaginative, and I'm always either because I have an artistic background as well. So I was either doodling, graffitiing, you know what I'm saying, or any way I can get my hands on a pen or pencil. It was either to write short stories or write whatever was my imagination.
And she just was just there to support you, and it was that simple for you to.
She's seen it, and so she did little things to
Yeah.
kind of be like suggestive. Hey, this would probably really be good in the so and so and such and such. Have you thought about that? I was like, nah. She's like, would you mind if I submit this for you? Because I'm not gonna submit it because I don't at that point you don't really have the confidence in yourself.
Yes.
So but when that happened and when it came back, that one of the students got into the book that was statewide, you know what I mean? Now you looked upon as doing something that nobody's done in that school, so it gives you a little more confidence, a little more motivation to go, yo, maybe I could pursue this writing thing and it could work because I was an athlete too, playing football, basketball, running track. Like my focus was on getting to the NFL. You know what I mean? Even at that age, I was just like, yo, Tony Dorsett, you know what I'm saying? Like Walter Payton, like I was him. That's what I wanted.
Renaissance man, like I said, man, you're a true Renaissance man. So what happened after high school? So we'll talk about getting into maybe I don't know, was it school? Was it the music
Yeah,
industry?
well, I played some football, but then I got injured, so I ended up having to go to K State University, to get a degree. But um, I was still focused on I was focused on trying to get to the league, but I was depressed. But rapping I had always been doing my whole life, but it was a hobby. You know what I'm saying? It was just like a hobby that I happened to be really good at, And so once I got out of college, it was just like, okay, well, what do I do? I was like, I'm gonna go to Bible college. You know what I'm saying? Because I was already depressed. Life wasn't, I was looking at it like I'm not really, all I ever knew was football. You know what I'm saying? But once the knees get injured,
Right.
everything go downhill. You can't run like you used to. You can't elevate like you used to. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? And back then, modern medicine today, oh, I would love to be in this time because it seems like you can break a leg today and tomorrow they done put pins in and you back on the field. You know what I'm saying? Back then, if you broke a
Right.
leg, that was it, career over. So for me, you know, after after that, it was just like, okay, I need to do something. So I ended up going to Bible college. And when I went to Bible college in Pasadena, um, some things happened there where I fell out of, it's like some things happened within the church that made you question everything.
Mm.
And so when you start questioning everything, then and then certain things are happening within the church that cause that caused me to go. I need to go seek knowledge elsewhere. So I went at a point because I like to read. To I got books behind me. I'll show them to you. I like to read. I end up going and learning a lot of religions. I read the Quran to understand why the Muslims think the way they think. I read the Torah. You know what I'm saying? I read obviously read the Bible and then the Lutheran Bibles. Like they all got their own projections of what we're supposed to believe and what we're supposed to think. You know what I mean? And so from there, it was just like, okay, I left college, left Bible college, went to and started rapping, and then I hooked up with the first Latin rap group in the history of rap music, which was Lighter Shade of Brown. You know what I mean? And then we were the first to break those barriers down.
Talk about that experience of being the first, and what were some of the lessons you learned from that experience that made you to who you are right now?
Well, the lessons was because I'm black and Puerto Rican, right? So when Lighter Shade Brown came out, they were like a straight Latin group, and for me, joining joining that, having to go do concerts and stuff, it was interesting because they didn't seem, back then the black and brown thing was really like a real situation. And so excuse me.
Good.
And so whenever we were on stage, I would get looked at by the Mexican gangbangers, like, what is this black dude doing on stage? So it was just one of those things
Mm.
where you got to see racism right in its face. You know what I mean? And we were, even though we were both discriminated against, as far as you know what I'm saying. So it's like we're both discriminated against, and you're gonna
Both
discriminate me, right? And so but I learned to. That's where I learned patience. You know what I'm saying? I learned to keep my poise, because as I'm walking around on stage, they looking at me like this, like the show's going on, but they keeping their eye on me. So that, that could be intimidating, but for me it wasn't, because I knew who I was, but I also knew that we were all both peoples that were discriminated against.
you had love for them, so you can empathize and not take it personal, and try to be
Facts,
inspirational. Yeah, like
facts.
Meek Mill says, he rolls to the hood to give them motivation, even though I know they hating. He tries to show, but he doesn't fall victim to their ignorance.
Yeah, that's true. I always stated that, once if you a hood dude, leave the hood once you make it. Just go back and support. Be supportive of that. Go build a gym. Go build the what you call it. But when they see you driving around in your Bentley, that it just reminds them of the things they don't have. And at some point, somebody's gonna get jealous. And at some point, it's not gonna end well.
Mm.
That's the only thing I always disliked about the dudes that make it out. Okay, we know you street. You know what I'm saying? We know you got these credentials, but when you going back, it's almost like you bragging. You know what I mean? And some dudes ain't with that.
Maybe it's the way that they do it.
Could be.
This is good. How you feel, man?
I'm good. I'm just was recovering from being in the hospital a few weeks ago. So,
Oh
but you
no.
know,
Okay. Well,
oh
let me
yeah, nah, well, hey, I'm here talking to you, so
now
it's a
just
oh yeah. You know what I mean?
make sure the spirit's in the air. I hope you feel it, man. Because
Oh yeah.
excellent, man. This is great. I really appreciate, man. You thank you for again, man. Thank you for your service. Thank you for what you do. Young black men need more men like you that can be vulnerable and be like, I love you. You don't say that enough. So I want to talk about that, man. So I'm an educator in Detroit, um,
Mm-hmm.
and it has its realities. So I've been an educator in Detroit for 6 years, and I came here purposely in Detroit because my last home, New Orleans. Unfortunately, it was lost due to Katrina. My people are still there. I have family there, but this is not the same. And going back is just hard for me to kind of grapple with. So Detroit was kind of like a new, like a new New Orleans, or just a new place for me to kind of be with my people. And it's a lot.
Right.
The people here are strong. They are hardworking. They have one of the greatest minds here in Detroit, man. Like really smart, hardworking people. But there are many inequities and disparities that keep us from reaching our potential. And unfortunately,
Uh-huh.
it hurts our young black men.